All right, let's start. So, as you do know that we have been discussing application software and its examples. In the previous class, I explained the difference between application software and system software. And of course, both of them have their own examples. Application software has various examples. System software has various examples. So, uh, in the last class, we discussed a couple of examples of application software. And what were the ones that we discussed? Let me quickly mark them up so that we are all aware of it. Well, we've discussed what a word processor is, what is a spreadsheet, what is a DBMS, audio and video editors, graphics editor. These are the ones that we have already talked about. Now we are left with three more examples that we will be discussing today. And those are, well, what is control slash measurement? What are CAD software and what are apps and applets? Okay, I'm going to start from CAD. Now, if you look here at the description, it says CAD stands for Computer Aided Design. Computer Aided Design, I would say, is not the name of a particular application software, but it defines a category of programs. A category of programs that fall, or programs that fall in this category of computer aided design software. As the name implies, it is a set of all those programs that help us or aid us in designing different things on the computer. And particularly when we talk about CAD, computer aided design, it not only involves simple drawings or diagrams, which are 2D diagrams, but actually it allows us to create 3D diagrams or 3D models or designs as well. This is what really differentiates a CAD software or a computer aided design software from a normal drawing package. All right. So we know what CAD stands for, and I would rather write it here that it allows us to create 2D as well as 3D drawings or designs. All right. You know what is a 3D design? Anyone would like to share their thoughts about it? What is a 3D design? Something which can be viewed three-dimensionally. And when we say three-dimensionally, uh, what are the coordinates that we talk about when it comes to a 3D design? Well, I can say that we have an x coordinate, the y coordinate, and then there is another one which is the z coordinate. X and y, x and y are the width and the height. Okay, 2D, the width of an object or a design, the height of an object or a design. What is this z coordinate? This is where the depth comes in, the depth of it. So when we add depth to height and the width, okay, this is where we are able to display something in 3D, three-dimensionally. And the good thing about 3D drawing packages such as, such computer-aided design software is that not only that I can create a 3D model or a 3D design, I can also sort of flip and rotate it at different angles to view it from different angles, the depth part of it. So I can rotate it, I can flip it over, and that is how I can really see it in 3 dimensions. All right, so really adds a different dimension to our drawings and our designs. All right, so if you look at the further description, it says this is used in the creation and manipulation and modification of drawings and designs used by an architect. Architects use such programs quite a lot. computer-aided design software. Um, well, has anyone ever uh, gotten a chance to see a 3D rendering of a building, as in on paper, maybe? Yeah. And where did you see that? Your father is an architect. Oh, wow. Then you must be knowing it very well. So, one thing that you must do today when you go home and whenever you see your father, ask him to tell you about some computer aided design software or 3D software that he is using in his company to make such architectural drawings. So he'll give you names of a few popular ones. All right, and maybe he can also. Have you seen him working on any of these ever? Or yeah, he must have designers who do that. Yeah, but have you ever been to his office? Okay, do make it a point to have a look at it at some point in time. That how do they create such designs? But the fact here is that do we only create 3D drawings or models of buildings using such programs, or can we create other things? For example, okay, 3D movies, yes. Sorry, animation, okay. How about a 3D design of furniture? Maybe a car, an aeroplane. It could be for just about anything. It could be just a component of a machine. Yeah. So the whole idea is, to be able to see it clearly from all possible angles. So when you add this the dimension of depth to your design, it just makes it more, I would say, not only interesting to look at, but you get a better idea of its overall design and its aesthetics or whatever it is. You get a much better idea before it is actually manufactured in real life. Yeah. Sorry. Of course, very much so, very much so. Uh, well, something that might be of your interest is like you can design jewelry in 3D. You can do that. Yeah. Anyway, so is what CAD software is all about? Is it clear? What are computer design programs? Is it clear to everybody? Very good. Okay. Next, we are going to talk about apps and applets. Now, applets you might not have heard of, but I'm sure that everybody would have heard about apps. Does anybody know what an app is or what are apps? Sorry? Sorry? Okay, yes, you can say that. Yes, no, no, that's true, that's true. Apps is a word that is short of applications and it has been derived from the term application. Okay, so we do know what application software is. Yeah. So do you think app is the same thing? It is an application software. Yes, it is an application program. Then why do we have different terms? Sometimes we use the term application software, or on other occasions we use the term apps. Why do we do that? Is it that we are using these two terms to describe exactly the same thing, or is there any difference at some level? There is a difference. And what do you think would that be? Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yes, fair enough. Sorry. No, 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 it's not that. Okay, let me describe. I think what you said was quite correct. I just have to put it into perspective. All right. Application software we know are programs on the computer that make us perform a specific task, and we have been seeing various examples of that. Now, what are apps? Of course, apps are application software, like you also said, Apps are application software programs, but in terms of their working and their functionality, they are limited. They are not as powerful or do not have as many features as a normal application program that you run on the computer have. It will be more of a curtailed uh, version of a full-scale application. Hence, apps are usually used on mobile devices. When we use application software on mobile devices such as smartphones and tablets, we use the term apps. And we know that there are tons of thousands of apps out there on Play Store and on where else? Apple, yeah, Apple Store. So we have tons of apps, and some of them are free, others are paid apps. But the fact is that, do you realize that all these apps let us do something specific? ऐसा ही है ना? So the concept is exactly the same. It's just that because of the fact that mobile devices are not as powerful as computers are, mobile devices do not have a very large screen size, okay, and they do not have the kind of memories that computers have, such as laptops and desktops. So if we have to use application software on mobile devices, we use uh, a version of application software that we usually call apps, which are which are the type of programs that come with limited features. When I say limited features, I do not mean that you you will not be able to use it effectively. You can, but all those extensive advanced features of any application software might not be there, but all the basics would always be there. Like we do know that the photo app on our smartphones allows us to do quite a few things to photos. All the basic. We can scale up, scale down, we can crop, we can apply filters and whatnot. We can do all that. So these are all the basic stuff that we can do. But if we were to compare it with a program like a Photoshop, we cannot. Yeah, because Photoshop is a full scale, full fledged, proper application designed for graphics editing. And the kind of features it has and the extended menu it has can only be properly seen on a certain sized screen, such as the screen of a computer. If you were to install Photoshop on a smartphone or a tablet, you won't be able to do that because of the scale of the program. Yeah. So I hope that the term apps is now clear. Okay, good. The other part of it, which is, so we're done with what apps are. What are applets? Anybody who has heard this term applets? Any idea? You might be knowing something about it. Oh no, this time around you really do not know. You think you're thinking about it? Okay. Anybody else? Sorry? You have seen it somewhere? Okay. All right. Let's not wait anymore. Let me tell you what are applets. Have you heard the term? Have you heard the terms? Let me write them down here. Have you heard the term add-on? Add-on or a plugin? These terms? Add-ons, plugins. Have you heard about these? Okay. Let me ask you one thing. Quite a few of you play computer games. How many of you? Okay. Have you ever had a situation in which the program offers you to add some new things to the program which would just be a new feature or something that would allow you to do certain things that were not there in your program earlier on or in your game? For example, textures. If textures were not there, did you install them yourself? Yeah, but does it do you sort of install them as an additional feature? Yeah, that is what an applet is. An applet is it's a small program. I would call it a program that tends to improve the features or functionality of an existing program. Uh, what is it that you're talking about exactly? Can you speak a little loud? Yes, very much so. Yes, of course, of course. So it's any program. It's usually a small program that would help you improve the functionality or features of an existing program. Would be called an applet. So it is like installed as an add-on. It's an extra feature that you can install and it would become part of your program. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yeah. So you do have applets for many applications, such as Excel has applets. You can install applets in Excel, in Access, okay, maybe other programs as well. And all these games that I was just talking about, they may also have in certain cases options where you may download a certain program, okay, which is an applet that just tends to improve the features of your game, okay, or adds a new dimension, gives you more options or something like that. So that is what an applet is. All right, let's see. It says, so what are apps and applets? Applications perform certain complex tasks. Applets only do a single task. Applets only do a single task. So I was just referring to the fact that it is just one added feature or a couple of features that you can add to your program. So they will do something specific. Application is in terms of its features. Okay, it's more vast, okay, because you can do this or you can do that and so many other things. But applet is just one particular functionality that you get to add up. So is it clear now? Any confusion? Apps? Yeah. You see, so app, you can say that it's a smaller version of an application. Like I was just describing that when it comes to application software, usually a full-fledged application software is meant to be installed on a proper computer such as a laptop or a desktop because of the functionality it has to offer you, the complex menu that it has, all right, and the kind of features it supports. If you have a version of the same program, but it is limited in terms of features, okay, why? Because it is meant to be used or installed on a mobile device, such as a smartphone or a such as a smartphone or a tablet. Then you would use a version of that application that comes with limited features, not too complex of an interface, which can easily be used on a small screen of a mobile device, okay, but actually would fulfill all the basic requirements of the program. It's just that it might not have some certain extended advanced features, which you would only be able to use if you install or use the full-fledged application software on the computer. Yeah. So that is why the term apps, a shorter form of application. Okay. The last example that we have to discuss here is of application software is control/measurement. Now this is a very different type of an application program that we are talking about here. What do control and measurement software do or programs do? Well, they are usually used with systems that work automatically in some way, such as I would say special appliances. For example, uh, I would say, any system that is used to monitor and control the working of a real life system or phenomena, or I would say, controlling a real life situation or a system. That is where you would make use of a control and measurement program. And in such systems, usually the main input device that is used are sensors. Sensors sense the data, they feed it into the system, okay, and through the application program, you can basically monitor those values or those readings that are coming through sensors, and then of course process them in a certain way and produce certain results or outputs on a screen. Sorry. Uh, CCTV, well, not exactly. I think CCTV would come in the category of surveillance, surveillance, and you can't really say that it can be included as an example of application software, but it is more related to security and surveillance. Uh, yeah, it monitors, but it monitors in a different way, I would say. What I'm talking about is where we usually make use of equipment or machines that make use of sensors to gather data from the surroundings. Sorry? Yeah, I can give you an example. Uh, how about weather forecasting? Weather forecasting? You know what is weather forecasting? Weather forecasting is like, uh, taking down, noting down or monitoring different weather conditions, taking the readings regarding different aspects of weather conditions, recording them and analyzing them, and based on that, giving out predictions or forecasts related to weather, right? Now, when it comes to weather forecasting, all that data that is being gathered about various aspects of weather, such as temperature, such as humidity or moisture, uh, such as I would say maybe wind speed, wind direction, you name it, all these factors. So these would be sensed, or the values of these will be sensed using sensors. Like a temperature sensor could be used to sense temperature in the surrounding. A moisture or a sensor, okay, or a humidity sensor, I would say, would sense the amount of humidity in the surrounding. So all these readings that are coming through these sensors is actually constantly being fed to a computer. And there you would have an application software that would take all those readings and then process them in a certain way and then produce certain forecasts or predictions related to the weather. All right. The only difference here is this, that the inputs are coming through sensors. You do understand what a sensor is. It is an input device, okay, that measures physical quantities or properties from the surroundings that it is placed in. So all these weather forecasting stations, or I would say organizations, authorities, they make use of sensors connected to computers to take readings constantly on part of different aspects of the weather, such as I just spoke about temperature and everything. And whatever the readings that are coming in are constantly being stored or recorded for further processing and analysis, and then based on that, producing certain forecasts. So the software that is handling all that data that is coming in, and then processing it in a certain way, which is already programmed into it, and then producing results to be shown to you in terms of forecasts or predictions, is what the role of a control and measurement program is. All right. So, by the way, we have a topic later on in our course where we would be talking about control and measurement technologies in detail, and then we would be discussing about a lot more examples where computer control or computer measurement is being used in real life situations. All right, so we will sort of talk about it in detail when we get to that part. If you were to look at the description that is given here, it says allows a computer to monitor and or control process by taking and analyzing data from sensors. Isn't this what we just discussed through our example about weather forecasting? Yeah. Okay, so, well, with that, we come to the end of our discussion on application software. Is it all clear? Any question, anyone? Okay, that's good. That's very good.